Welcome back to my studio. Today we're going to discuss the boning basics for corsetry, so let's get started. Alright, so today we are going to be discussing something that I get a million questions on. Okay, maybe not a million, but I get a lot of questions about what boning do I use for corsetry. And not only am I going to talk to you about what boning I use and why I use it, but I'm actually going to show you what they look like so that when you are shopping around, you have an idea of what certain boning looks like. So to start off with all of this, I buy all of my boning from corsetmakingsupplies.com. I will link them below. That's where I buy all of my boning. They are they're based in the United States and the shipping is pretty fast, so that's the main reason why I like to go through them. For places outside of the United States, you would just have to do a Google search to see what ships to you, and I honestly think that Corset Making Supplies ships internationally, but I might be wrong. Okay, so let's just dive right in. There are two ways in which you can purchase all types of boning, and that's going to be pre-cut, which I have right here, and then also in the spiral form where you will cut it yourself. I personally prefer the spiral form because you can actually buy like a lot of it for, it's a little bit like cheaper, and also I never know what sizes I'm going to need or what lengths I'm going to need, so it's a little bit more customizable as well. Also, before I move forward, I will link to you a few videos or channels of channels that are specifically directed towards corsetry. This channel is mostly sewing and costume construction. However, due to the amount of questions I get, I felt like this would be a fun topic to discuss. So, with that being said, let's talk about exactly what types of boning there are and which ones I use and why. Awesome. So, I'm going to first talk about spiral steel. So this is cut spiral steel. This is not pre-cut. I cut this myself, but it also comes in a like a roll. And I use spiral steel on all of my corsets that are Victorian era, so like 1840s and beyond, mainly because of the range of motion that you get with this this steel. It's got, like, you can move and it's flexible, so even though you are cinching, it still has a lot of movement to it, so you yourself can move while you're in it. Now, when you buy it in a roll, you do have to cap it, and a lot of places sell these caps. They are the devil. I hate them. I cannot endorse this product, but you can buy them and you can learn how to use them if you want. I hate these. So there's a few methods that I've done throughout the years. The first is duct tape, and this is really not, I don't recommend doing the duct tape method. It does create bulk up at the top. I would trim this down before using it anyway, but I don't recommend it. Also, you could do Plasti Dip. I stopped doing Plasti Dip because it does take 30 minutes to dry, and you have to do at least 2 coats of it. I would say actually at least 3 coats of it for it to really work, and so if you're waiting 30 minutes every time, you have to pre-plan all of your boning out before you're ready to use it. I don't really like that method. My new favorite method, and I actually just started using this, is why I have this huge thing of tube here. It is shrinkable tubing. It's meant for like electricians and using it on electrical wires. So this has the duct tape, and this has the just to show you like both ends, and then this is what both ends look like with the shrinkable tubing. And what's insane about this is 100 feet of this shrinkable tubing cost me less than $10. I use about 1 inch per cap, and I actually will measure 1 inch and then heat shrink it, trim it, and like 1 inch per side. I have 100 feet. It's insane. So it's actually, to me, the most economical way of capping. I believe this entire package of these costs like $2 to $3, and this will only cap so many. They will fall off unless you're real good at it. So that's spiral steel boning. I love spiral steel. I pair spiral steel actually with flat steel, and there's different, so actually you can buy all of these in different sizes, but what I use flat steel for mostly is in the back of my corset next to my grommets. I will put a piece of spiral or of steel, a flat steel, not spiral steel, so that it creates a really tough ridge and or like a really straight ridge. So when you're using your grommets, it doesn't warp the back of your corset. So that's why I use this. And then if I am not placing a busk, which we're not going to talk about busks, that could be an entire you know, like video on its own, but this is what a busk looks like. So if I'm not using one of these, I will in the front put about 2 channels of this next to each other. So either 2 or 4, just depending on like how I'm feeling, and if it's an under bust or over bust. This is a busk. This is your bust. So yeah, I will replace this in the front of a corset if I don't have a busk. And then I want to talk a little bit about plastic boning as well, or zip ties. Their industrial zip ties are a great affordable replacement for plastic boning. I honestly don't know where I bought this plastic boning, but I bought a lot of it, as you can see, and I want to say I got a deal for it. So plastic boning is really, really awesome to use in more of like your bodices, but you can also use this on like 18th century stays, or like I used it for my Anne Boleyn set of bodies, which is, it's basically, if you're gonna have, you know, 40 or more boning channels, you could probably get away with using this over spiral steel. So for my 18th century corsets, I love using this. Again, it's a little bit more affordable, but it's really flexible, obviously, but it doesn't have the strength that, say, steel boning has. So you just have to keep that in mind. And then finally, oh, and for capping this, it's super easy, or cleaning the edges. You can just get a sandpaper stick. I think a lot of people make theirs where they like get a wooden stick, and they, not like an outdoor stick, but like a nice 2x4 or something like that, and they will adhere sandpaper to it. Or a nail file. I used a nail file on, we'll talk about the synthetic whalebone just in a second, but I used a nail file and that was fabulous and it worked great. So that's a great way to have clean edges for your plastic boning. And it doesn't really cost extra. You don't have to purchase another item, but again, it is still pretty economical. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and I actually waited to film this video until I used this because I've never used it before, is this is synthetic whalebone. Now this is not plastic. Well, it is made out of a plastic, but it's not the same as plastic boning. And I'm going to put these next to each other so you kind of get an idea of the thickness, and then also like just the sturdiness alone. This is way sturdier, or this is way sturdier, the synthetic whalebone, than this. This is pretty malleable, I would say. And like you can just visually see a difference there. This one's wider. That's also a sizing thing. You can buy these in 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. I'm sure there's other sizings as well. Those are just the ones I know about. But yeah, I just used this on a corset I made, and I actually really like this. It has this strength to, like, when you compare it to spiral steel, it has the strength of spiral steel and the mobility, but you don't have to, you can sand it down to cap it. So I like it a lot, but I will say cutting it is super easy. Again, with the spiral steel and the metal, you have to have cutters, like metal cutters for them. And also, you can cut these with, like, I use my paper scissors on these. So yeah, or crafting scissors or foam scissors. So it's just a little bit easier to work with. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you would like to see better quality content more often, consider supporting me over on Patreon, where our goal right now is to purchase a new camera for filming so that I can have a higher quality camera, and also so that we can get a new microphone for that camera so that I have better quality audio. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and happy sewing!